Michelle, if you could, first of all, our heartfelt sympathies go out to you and your whole family. And I just want to ask you, how are you guys getting through this? How are you even finding the strength to get through this?
I just think we've been on fast forward, and we haven't had time to absorb. We haven't even grieved Kate or Carrie yet, really. So I think once we get through this, we're really, we'll have a hard time then, you know, because like I said, there's been so much every day. You're so busy doing so much, and we were so focused on Kayla and doing the best for her and bringing her home with us and having a family with her. But obviously that wasn't God's plan.
When you think about the loss in these two young girls and your sister-in-law and what they could have done and accomplished in the rest of their life and how much more they had to live, that's really what the loss is all about. How much they could have accomplished and how much more life they had in them.
It is hard to think that. It was, you know, like I said, we hadn't had time to focus as much on Kate and Carrie. Not that we don't miss them. We miss them immensely, but our focus had to be on Kayla. And so then everything changed as far as what our focus was. Our focus was she's a part, now she's our child. You know, when we were younger and just had our kids, she had asked me if anything ever happened, would I take her kids? Never, you know, yeah, sure, you never think that's going to happen. And so our focus became, yes, that's what she would have wanted me to do, was Kayla. So for us, we really haven't grieved them, and right now, the focus is just a lot about Kayla. Today is about Kayla. She became our child. You know, I became her legal guardian, and I remember the day that happened, my husband texted me, we're legal guardians, and we were excited. We planned on bringing her home and making a part of our family, and we made those plans that you talk about, things that you hope for to do with your children, and unfortunately, we weren't able to do that.
Tell me about Kayla.
She's a little stubborn, a little ornery. I'm going to actually be speaking in the service, and part of what I was going to talk about is when we were in the hospital, and the first time she came off the vent and was her ornery self again. She like hated all the tubes on her, and she used to pull them off, and she had a nasogastric tube in her nose, and she got sneaky one night with Ashley. She kept trying to pull it all night, pulled the covers over her head, pulled it right out. And then another time a doctor was like, "What? Move your legs for me, move your legs for me." And she can do it, and she had just been done, and she's like, no way. And she wouldn't do anything for him. So she's a very popular girl. Everybody loved her at school. The best manners, best, well-behaved. Both girls were, you know, I wish my children were as well-behaved as they are.
Tell me about Carrie. I mean, the girls were so close in age, and doesn't necessarily mean they were close to each other.
Yeah, they were. Someone here told me, and I'd never heard the term Irish twins, because I guess they're so close together, and that's the way they were. They did everything together. You rarely ever heard them fight. They just loved each other. You know, I don't know if you see all the pictures, they're hugging and they're smiling. You never see an unhappy picture with the two of them. They were two very positive, happy kids.
We haven't had the chance to ask you about Kate. Is that how the family referred to her?
Katie.
I called her Katie from when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay. Obviously a very proud mom of her two Irish
She was a
twins.
very good mom. And she was very good with them. The girls were her world. You know, she made every day special for them. If there was a special holiday, she made it special. Each Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, they did fun things.
So, what do you think today will be like? She struggled, Kayla struggled to survive, and you know, we lived a little bit of that when we'd get the updates, and she's doing better, and she's doing better, and she went from critical to serious, I believe, and then fell back. How difficult was that, going through that process?
You know, it was hard because initially we thought the worst, so we were prepared. And then she did get very good. She looked good. She looked like she'd make a pretty decent recovery, and we were excited to bring her home. And then unfortunately she had the aneurysm, and from that point forward there really wasn't any positives after that. It kind of went downhill. So it was just like it's been a roller coaster ride. That's what I say. It's like a roller coaster ride you just can't get off, or a nightmare that you just can't wake up from, because it was all the ups and downs
Well, there was a big up in the beginning, and then it just seemed to be, unfortunately, down from there.
I hate to even use the word closure, because will be no such thing. I mean, this is going to be with you in your family for the rest of your lives. But what will today bring you, if anything?
A little relief, at least to me, that, you know, she's not suffering anymore.
She's at peace, and we believe they're all together. You know, I feel Kayla kind of gave up because she wanted to be with her family. Not that she didn't love us, we love her, but her mom, you know, if you see the pictures of the three of them together, they loved each other so much.
That was going to be my question. Does it give you satisfaction to know that she is with her?
That is the one good thing of all this. No matter what happens, a little piece of our hearts is gone. You know, we were already sad, but it's like I said, we came to think of her as one of our own. In making all the decisions and all the things that happened to her, what decision would we make for either of our girls? And it was the same because I feel like she's my child. So I feel like I've lost, in addition to my nieces and my sister-in-law, I feel like I lost my child, and I think Carl feels the same way.
Yeah.
And my children feel that way.
Carl, I don't want to, if you don't, you know, can you put into words this whole awful tragedy?
It's tough. I mean, I think many years from now, I'm still going to have questions and not answers. And that's, you know, that's kind of what I struggle with. There was no reason for it. But I can just take comfort in knowing that I think she's, like Michelle, my wife said, she's with Kate and Carrie, and you know, that's, and she's perfect again. She's not in pain. She's not suffering.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's grab those mics off you before.
Yep.